In the remote reaches of the Arctic tundra, where the horizon stretches white and endless, live the reindeer nomads, indigenous families who have carved a life from snow, wind, and age-old traditions. Among them are the Nenets of northern Siberia, the Sami of northern Scandinavia, and the Chukchi of the Russian Far East. These communities, though isolated and shaped by centuries of survival in sub-zero conditions, have not been untouched by the rhythms of the outside world. As the final days of December draw near, a quiet but deeply felt shift takes place in the hearts of these nomadic herders. The landscape remains unchanged, bleak and beautiful, but within the chums and lavas, their traditional tents made of reindeer hides and birch poles, a subtle warmth of festivity begins to stir. To understand how reindeer nomads celebrate Christmas, a New Year's is to recognize a blending of worlds, the collision of ancient animistic belief systems with the more recent influence of Russian Orthodoxy, Christianity, and even the commercial iconography of Santa Claus. Yet these celebrations do not follow the familiar patterns seen in urban centers. They are intimate, symbolic, shaped by seasonal necessity and the cadence of the herd. Preparation begins not with decorations or shopping, but with the migration itself. By late December, most nomadic families have already moved to the shelter of a winter forest or tundra hollow where snowdrifts are more manageable and the reindeer can dig for lichen beneath the snow. These winter encampments are where the holidays unfold, without electricity, without roads, and far from any church bells or neon lights. Inside the chum, the heart of nomadic domestic life, the atmosphere becomes cozier. A central fire burns, constantly heating both the tent and the meals prepared around it. As Christmas approaches, celebrated by many on January 7th according to the Julian calendar, elders might tell traditional tales passed down through generations. These are not stories of reindeer flying through the sky or a jolly man in red, but rather myths of ancestral spirits, animal guardians, and the deep wisdom of the earth. In some families, these tales blend gently with borrowed stories of the Nativity, Jesus' birth, and the symbolic light in the darkest time of the year. Gift-giving among the nomads is a quiet affair. There are no store-bought packages wrapped in shiny paper. Instead, gifts are handmade, fur mittens sewn by mothers, bone-carved toys crafted by fathers, perhaps a decorated antler piece passed from elder to child. Children might receive extra treats like dried berries or a bit of sugar, items rare and precious in the tundra. The reindeer, the lifeblood of these people, are also honored. They are given rest, affection, and in some households even sung to, an age-old gesture of gratitude and blessing for the animals that provide transport, shelter, clothing, and food. Food during the holiday reflects what is available: boiled or raw reindeer meat, fish pulled from ice holes, and soups rich with bone marrow and roots gathered earlier in the year. In some Sami communities, smoked reindeer meat or dried fish are delicacies reserved for such times. When Orthodox traditions are strong, families may fast leading up to the holiday, then celebrate with a special meat dish on Christmas Day. The meals are shared communally, eaten around the fire with hands and knives, every bite a connection to the land. For the children, this season holds a quiet magic. In recent decades, schools and outreach programs have introduced elements of mainstream holiday culture: songs, cards, even small artificial trees. Sometimes a nomadic teacher will bring along Santa hats or tinsel to decorate the chum. It is not uncommon for a northern Father Frost, a local version of Santa Claus, sometimes dressed in traditional furs instead of red, to make an appearance, perhaps portrayed by an elder or traveling visitor. He may arrive on a wooden sled drawn not by flying reindeer, but by real ones, crunching over the snow under moonlight. The New Year celebration, which occurs between December 31st and January 1st by the Gregorian calendar, has become more prominent, in recent years especially due to Russian influence. Among the reindeer nomads within Russian territories, New Year's Eve is often the most festive night of the year. Even in remote encampments, families gather closely, lighting small oil lamps, sharing food, and offering wishes for the coming year. Elders may perform traditional chants or offer blessings for health, abundance, and protection from storms. The spirits of ancestors are remembered, and their guidance is sought. It is a time for storytelling, reflection, and unity. In lieu of fireworks or champagne, the tundra offers its own grandeur. The aurora borealis or northern lights often dance overhead in curtains of green and violet. For the nomads, this celestial display is not just a spectacle, it is a sign, a connection to the spirit world, an ancient form of celebration written across the sky. While many of the younger generation are increasingly exposed to outside media and customs, there remains a deep respect for tradition. Some youth may return from boarding schools or settlements to spend the holidays with their families. These reunions are powerful and emotional, reinforcing identity, culture, and the unbreakable link to the land. It is important to remember that not all nomadic peoples observe these holidays in the same way. Some may hold fast to animist rituals, lighting fire offerings to the sun or wind spirits instead of observing Christian holidays. Others blend elements of shamanic practice with Orthodox customs in a unique spiritual tapestry. What binds them all is the sacred sense of time. Winter as a space for rest, for gathering, for honoring what matters most: family, nature, and the enduring rhythms of life. As outsiders look upon the snowy wilderness and imagine sleigh bells. In North Pole legends, the real reindeer herders live a quieter, more grounded version of the season. Their celebrations may not be marked by consumerism or glittering lights, but by firelight, song, the crunch of hooves on snow, and the breath of reindeer steaming into the dawn air. In these northernmost reaches of the world, Christmas and New years are not defined by spectacle. They are shaped by the pulse of the earth, the wisdom of ancestors, and the beauty of simplicity. And in the flickering fire of a chum or lavu, as families huddle together against the polar night, we find perhaps the truest spirit of the season: warmth, wonder, and the quiet joy of togetherness beneath a sky full of stars.
И мы не смогли чем сделать.
Попадаются уже на снегоходах, а на упряжке уже, потому что собрать одну это нереально.
Нормально. Это зеленый.